Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Tuesday, May the 20th. We got one game on Tuesday night. We got the start of the Western Conference Finals, so we have OKC versus Minnesota, and then we'll have the start of the Eastern Conference Finals on Wednesday with the Knicks and the Pacers. But pretty much the rest of the playoffs, the rest of the postseason, we're just going to have one game each day. So obviously at this time of the year, there's just not going to be a lot of props to give out every day because there's only one game each day. Most of the time, I'm just going to give out two plays, but I'm still going to give you guys the analysis, the information on why I like these plays. We'll break them down like we always do. But yeah, this time of the year, recommend betting light. I mean, it's going to be hard to find a bunch of plays that stand out each day when we're just having the same matchups over and over. But a lot of times at the beginning of series, that's when there is the most value because it is harder to kind of project lines when it's a new matchup. As the series progresses, the lines are going to get sharper, and it's just going to be even harder to find plays. But we do have game ones starting today. Game one on Tuesday for the Western Conference Finals, game one on Wednesday for the Eastern Conference Finals. So we'll be able to find some plays for sure. And I do have two plays that I like for this game on Tuesday night, and we're going to break them down, share why I like them. Now, before we do get started, guys, make sure, as always, if you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, that you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to sign up and use that promo code NOAH when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 instantly added to your account. Easy way to build up that bankroll on Prizepicks. Make sure to check them out if you guys have not yet. And then I do also want to shout out Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can go download the Sleeper app, use promo code NOAH over there. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So whatever you put in on your first deposit, Sleeper will match that up to $100. If you put in $100, they'll give you an additional $100 to play with. So this is another way to get your bankroll, start to build that up over on Sleeper. And if you guys don't know what Sleeper is, they're a DFS Pick'em app. They're very similar to Prizepicks, very similar to all the other DFS Pick'em apps that you see around the industry. But one thing that I do like about Sleeper that I think definitely separates them from some of the other DFS apps is they do a lot of promotions throughout the week. Pretty much every single day they've got discounts, they've got payout boosts, protected plays, a lot of stuff that they do throughout the week when it comes to promotions, and that's one of the benefit of playing on Sleeper. And if you're someone that doesn't play for a lot of money, like if you're only betting, playing $5, $10 a day, you definitely need to be playing on sites that offer promotions because that's going to be the best spot to put your money when when promotions, or a lot of times the promotions that these sites do, it's like a $5, $10 limit. So if you're someone that's only playing $5 or $10 a day, you probably want to be playing where the promotions are at, where the discounts are at. So if you guys don't have an account over on Sleeper, again, download their app and make sure to use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up, so that way you get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's talk about some plays, guys, that I do like for Tuesday's Western Conference Finals Game 1. Now, I do want to recap our plays from our last video, which was posted on Sunday. Obviously, there was no NBA games Monday, so I didn't make a video for Monday. But we gave out one pick Sunday for the Game 7 OKC Denver, paired that with the Jokic free square. Unfortunately, the play that we paired with the Jokic free square missed. It was Isaiah Hartenstein over 28 fantasy score, which I felt really good about. Really like that play. I think Hartenstein's line got bumped up to like 29 or 29.5. So we got some good value on that prop, but Hartenstein's minutes got cut down last game, not only because the game was a massive blowout, but also Alex Caruso was playing really well off the bench, and we saw OKC actually start the second half with Caruso starting in place of Hartenstein. So Hartenstein's minutes got cut down. I think he only wound up playing 17 minutes, which I'm pretty sure is the fewest minutes he's played all postseason. Go figure. The day I take an over on Hartenstein, he plays his fewest minutes he's played all postseason. But it wasn't like he wasn't productive. He had, I think, 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist in only 17 minutes. But it's going to be hard to go over 28 fantasy score when you only play 17 minutes. If Hartenstein plays 25 to 28 minutes like I expected him to, he probably would have went over, but 17 minutes, obviously he's just not going to be able to get it done in 17 minutes. So that was super frustrating because I felt like we had the right read there on Hartenstein, and his minutes got cut down because of Caruso playing so well and because of the blowout. But it is what it is, guys. We'll move on to this slate for Tuesday, talk about some props I like for this Western Conference Finals game. Let's go ahead and break them down. So the first prop that I do like is going to be a free throws made prop. And we're going to take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for more than 7.5 free throws made. So I know free throws made is not a stat type or a prop that every site offers. Obviously, Prizepicks offers this, but not every site does. So if you don't have access to free throws made and you're looking for another prop to play on SGA, I do like SGA for more than 31.5 points. I think that is a fine alternative. But I like this free throws made prop on SGA, and I think I like it a little bit more than his points prop. And let's talk about why I like this. So SGA, we know, is a guy that does draw a lot of fouls. This season, he drew the 4th most fouls per game in the league. If you look at the players that drew the most fouls per game, number 1 was Giannis at 7.6. Then it was Jalen Brunson at 6.3, Joel Embiid at 6.2, and then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 6.1. So SGA drew the 4th most fouls per game. He's a guy that goes to the free throw line a lot. He also led the league in drives per game. So he drives to the basket a ton, which is one of the reasons why he gets to the free throw line so much, because he draws fouls, he drives to the basket. And this should be a matchup where he should have the ability to get to the rim, to drive to the basket, because Minnesota is a team that, they're not going to double team a lot. They have really good defenders they trust to guard one-on-one. Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, all these guys can defend really well. And we're probably going to see Jaden McDaniels get tasked with guarding SGA here. And they're going to let Jaden McDaniels guard SGA one-on-one. I don't think you're going to see SGA getting trapped or double-teamed a lot in this series. So he should have the opportunity to score. And we saw him be really good in this matchup during the regular season. Now, it is worth noting that Minnesota was kind of injured during the regular season for these matchups. So, I think Rudy Gobert missed 3 of the games they played. I think Julius Randle missed 3 of the games they played as well. So we didn't actually see Minnesota fully healthy versus OKC, but I think Jaden McDaniels played in all 4 of the games that these two teams played in during the regular season. I'm pretty sure he did play in all 4 of those games. I think Anthony Edwards played in all 4 of those games too. So they had those 2 guys at least, but they didn't have their bigs. Gobert was out some games. Randall was out some games, but I believe McDaniels and Edwards did play in all 4. But besides the fact, SGA was really good in this matchup during the regular season. In his 4 games versus Minnesota, 40 points, 24 points, 37 points, 39 points. And then if we look at his free throws made in those games, 7 free throws made, 11, 8, and 14, and he got to the line a ton. 9, 11, 11, and 17 free throw attempts. SGA is a pretty efficient free throw shooter. I think on the season he's shooting pretty sure he's shooting close to 90% from the foul line, but I'm actually going to take a look at that just to confirm. But I want to say SGA is a guy that you can typically bet on shooting close to 90% from the free throw line. So this season, he averages 7.9 free throws made per game on 8.8 attempts, and he's shooting 89.8% from the free throw line. So he's a very efficient shooter from the foul line. So it's not like we need him to go out there and get 12, 13, 14 attempts. He could literally go 8 for 8 from the free throw line here. But I do expect him to be driving to the basket a lot in this series, and I think he's going to have the opportunity to draw fouls, to get to the free throw line. Jaden McDaniels, great defender, but he will definitely foul. That's one of his issues. And if there's any player in the league that can draw fouls, it's SGA. And if you look at his 4 matchups versus Minnesota this season, SGA was very aggressive driving to the basket in those games. So SGA led the league in drives per game at 20.6. And in his 4 games versus Minnesota, he had 25 drives, 19 drives, 27 drives, and 20 drives. So, 2 of his games he was above his average. 1 game he was right on his average. 1 game he was right below his average. But he was driving to the basket a lot versus Minnesota in the regular season. I think he's going to do that again in this series. So he's going to have the opportunity to score. He's going to have the opportunity to get to the free throw line. And I do like SGA for more than 7.5 free throws made. And then the other prop that I like in this game is on the other side from Minnesota. We're going to look at a field goals made prop. And I like Naz Reid for more than 3.5 field goals made. So Naz Reid, if you look at what he's been doing lately, not great. You look at the Golden State series, he did really struggle towards the end of that series. His minutes were also kind of cut down in those games. If you look at the last 3 games where he went under this line, he only played 25, 24, and 21 minutes in those games, which is fairly low for Naz Reid, especially in the playoffs when rotations are really tight. Minnesota has pretty much been running a very strict 8-man rotation the entire postseason. If you look at Naz Reid's minutes in the Lakers series, 31, 21, 27, 20, 21. So he had a couple games where he got, one game where he got into the 30s, one game he got upper 20s, and then a couple games, he was kept around 20 to 21 minutes. But I think most nights we should expect Naz Reid to play about 24 to 26 minutes. Obviously, that number can fluctuate based on how he's playing. It can fluctuate based on how Rudy Gobert or Julius Randle are playing. I think this is a really tough matchup for Julius Randle. I know Julius Randle this postseason has been playing incredibly well. He's been playing pretty much the best ball of his career, I think. And this is a spot where I don't really know how well Julius Randle is going to play, because Julius Randle, when he is most effective, it's when he's able to play bully ball and he's able to drive and get in the paint and score. That's when Julius Randle can really be effective. And this is just a tough matchup for that, because OKC is very good at protecting the paint. I'm pretty sure they gave up the fewest points in the paint this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if Naz Reid gets some more minutes, just if Julius Randle's struggling or if Rudy Gobert's struggling. This is a really tough spot for Rudy Gobert as well. If there's a team that's equipped to stop a guy like Rudy Gobert, it's OKC. OKC is great on the boards. They don't give up any points in the paint. Like, when Rudy Gobert is effective, it's because he's able to dominate on the boards. He's able to get putbacks and score around the rim. And OKC's just not going to let you do that. I mean, they're one of the best teams at stopping, rebounding, guys dominating on the glass. Like, nobody dominates on the glass against OKC because they're so good rebounding-wise. So I think it's a tough matchup for both Gobert and Julius Randle. I would not be surprised if you do see Naz Reid emphasize a little bit more in this series. And Naz Reid's a guy that can provide shooting, he can provide spacing, and that's kind of how you beat this OKC team. OKC, they're going to pack the paint. They're not really going to let you score around the rim. You're going to have to beat OKC by shooting, especially from catch and shoot shots. That's what OKC gave up a lot of during the regular season. They were a team that gave up a lot of catch and shoot shots. And one guy that is a good catch and shoot guy on this Minnesota team is Naz Reid. He was second on the team in catch and shoot points per game. Dante DiVincenzo led the team in catch and shoot points per game. I think Dante DiVincenzo is also going to be a key player for Minnesota in this series. But I'm expecting a bigger role for Naz Reid. I think his minutes get put up a little bit here, come up a little bit. I think he gets back to that 25 to 28 minute range. I don't think he's going to play 20 to 22 minutes a night in this series. I think Naz Reid is definitely going to be needed more in this series. And when Naz Reid plays 25, 26 minutes, I would bet on him having 4 field goals made. You could also look at his points prop, which is at 10.5, but I would think if Naz Reid scores 11 points, he's probably going to have 4 field goals made. So far this postseason, Naz Reid has not really been going to the free throw line a lot. I mean, if you look at if you look at the Golden State series, he barely went to the free throw line. 0, 0, 0, 0, and 2 free throw attempts in the 5 games versus Golden State. So he was not really getting to the free throw line much. He was able to get to the free throw line a little bit more versus the versus the Lakers. 2, 2, 1, 4, and 2 free throw attempts. But Naz Reid typically not a guy that's drawing fouls a lot, because he's mainly kind of a jump shooter. He's a guy that is going to be on the 3-point line and going to get catch and shoot threes. So if he's scoring, it's probably because he's knocking down threes. Maybe he drives to the basket a little bit, but I would think if Naz Reid scores 11 points, he's going to have 4 field goals made. So I think that's why I like the field goals made a little bit more on Naz Reid. But if you also want to look at his points prop, especially if you're on a sports book and they don't allow field goals made as an option, I am fine taking Naz Reid for more than 10.5 points. Just think Naz Reid's going to be used more in this series. Like the matchup for him as well. With how OKC gives up catch and shoot shots, with how they limit points in the paint, this is a matchup that sets up pretty well for Naz Reid, with how he can shoot the 3 ball, how he can stretch the floor, how he can provide spacing. And he was pretty good against OKC in the regular season. Now, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, because like I said earlier, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, they were out for those games, some of those games. So obviously Naz Reid played a lot of minutes versus OKC during the regular season. But there was one game that Julius Randle played in, that Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert played in. And in that game, Naz Reid did play 33 minutes off the bench, was very effective, had 19 points, shot 8 for 14, 1 for 5 from 3. And if you look at that game, Julius Randle's minutes, I believe, got cut down. He only played 27 minutes. Rudy Gobert played 31 minutes. Those guys were not as effective. Obviously, it's a one-game sample, but those guys were not as effective against OKC in the regular season as Naz Reid was. He was really good in the game that he played against OKC with Gobert and with Randle. And I think this is a good time to kind of buy low on Naz Reid. I mean, he wasn't great in the Golden State series. He had some down games, but now we've got a totally different matchup here and a series that I think sets up a little bit better for him. So that's what we're going to take as our 2 plays for today, guys. We're going to take SGA for more than 7.5 free throws made, and we're going to take Naz Reid for more than 3.5 field goals made. 2 props for Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Let's see if we can go 2-0 here. Hit both these plays. Really like the plays today. Kind of like the reads that I'm on as well. So I feel like, you know, if things go right here, if we get 25, 26 minutes from Naz Reid, I think he gets 4 field goals made. If SGA plays his full minutes, 36 to 40 minutes, feel pretty good about him getting 8 free throws made, especially with how this matchup sets up for him to be able to score, getting a lot of one-on-one coverage. That's usually when SGA is at his best, when he can drive to the basket, draw fouls, when he's, you know, being guarded one-on-one. But got 2 plays. Let's go 2-0, guys. Let's make some money on this slate. As always, appreciate you watching these Prizepicks videos. Be sure to hit that like button down below before you do get out of here. Hit that subscribe button as well. And go check out Prizepicks. Sign up for Prizepicks. Use that code NOAH if you have not yet. Get those $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account when you play your first $5 lineup. But good luck, guys. Let's win some money tonight. I'll see you in the next video.